This is your basic flood and drain system. The water is pumped up to the rocks on the top where it slowly fills up and drains very rapidly. As you can see, we've added a single cucumber plant. We also will be adding tomatoes and lettuce. Here's the system about a week old. It ran for about 3 months before I ended up replacing the plants. And here we are with the new plants in the system. We have basically 3 house plants that require minimal sunlight. That was the reason that I actually ended up removing the fruiting plants, was due to the fact that they were not getting enough sunlight in their current location. These plants remained in the system for over 2 years, and like I said, they did absolutely wonderful. I'm going to be removing these plants and transferring them to traditional pots with soil, and we will be replacing them with an herb garden. This is a rosemary plant, and what I'm doing is we're transplanting it to the aquaponics system, and what I'm doing right now is getting all the dirt off of the root system. And I'm just doing this with a water hose. And as you can see, I'm using pretty high power, at least you can get most of it. Alright, as you can see, we're pretty well got the roots pretty clean. I'm finishing them up here. The way to sort of break it up in the beginning is to do it like this. You can see we've got a nice clean plant, clean enough, ready to go in our system, and we're just going to drop this into the aquaponics. Okay, here we are. Here's the rosemary plant. We're going to put it in the system here. As you can see, I've dug a hole. You can get a picture of that there. See that hole?
See the hole that I've made?
What we're going to do is just drop it in there. I've got the space cleared out, and we're just going to go ahead and put it in. All right, go ahead and drop it down in there. Pull this out. Just have to go down inside there a little bit. Press it down. Gotta get the rocks in there. And we're just putting these rocks, as you can see, they're loaded with nutrients. Okay, now we got it in, and I've got the spray bottle here with some clean water. I'm just going to spray it down, because what happens, what can happen, is as you're transferring these, you can get, see this, all this here? This is basically fish poo or fish waste, and you don't want that on your plant, especially on your fresh herbs. And I'm spraying the top of the rocks too, because that's going to wash those off. You can see how dirty they are. You need a close up there. You can see all this looks like mud. That's basically fish waste, and we don't want that. We want that all to be below the rock level. The top rocks, we want them to be clean. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just spraying some clean water on them to rinse them off. These plants on top here, I'm spraying this to make sure they don't have any of that residue on them from the fish waste to contaminate them in any way. And that's it. That's one thing you just want to be careful about with your aquaponics system, as far as any sort of contamination, is that even though they can one of the good things about aquaponics is you don't have to worry about contamination for the most part, because it's such a controlled environment. And I basically cleaned the entire root system of about as much dirt as I can. I'm just going to leave that here for a minute. This one, as you can see, it just came out of here, and it's still pretty solid. They come out very solid, and what I'm going to do is just submerge this there in the water and just work it with my fingers. You have to give it a little bit of, it takes a little bit of massaging, but it'll loosen up eventually. You just don't want to force it. All right, and you can see here, pretty much most of that's gone. Now I'm going to take it and about as hard as you can. You want to spray it out, because that'll clean it. That'll clean it much better. It'll finish off the job. They're going to be ready to put into the aquaponics system. Okay, so here we are. we have the 2 that are done. They're finished. What I'm going to do is just give them a final rinse in some clean water, as you can see here. That's pretty much probably all you can do right there. I'll just set these right here. This one, same thing. You're always going to have a little bit of dirt's going to make its way in there, but you just want to minimize it as much as possible. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm just making a hole to put the oregano into, and as you can see, there's filling up with water right now. Take my oregano, I'll set it in at the level, come down here. Here's the system almost together. We have only a few more plants to put in. As you can see, the water is very cloudy. That is due to the fact that we moved the system from basically over there to where it currently is. Anytime you move your system and disturb the rocks, you're going to stir up quite a bit of organic material, which will cloud the system. Here's our plants that will be going into the system. And as you can see, the water has begun to clear up quite nicely. I'm just going to give the finished system one final spritz over. It's just a fresh spray with clean, pure water. Basically to rinse the leaves and to wash the tops of the rocks. See, we are using river rocks. I like the natural look that they give, and they are excellent for growing your aquaponics. The water is still slightly cloudy, but will continue to clear up in the coming hours. And here's our finished system. Everything is in, everything's looking good. We have our peppers, sweet basil, sage, oregano, all types of things. And as you can see, everything is growing beautifully. They've been in the system for about 3 days, and everything is already beginning to perk up. I've put labels next to each type of herb for identification purposes. I will be monitoring the growth of the system, of course, and posting updates periodically. Shoot me your emails, questions, upcoming videos you'd like to see. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Just one final note. My system has been running for over 3 years, basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. I've had absolutely, basically zero problems with it since I've started it. Basically, all I have to do is add water periodically as the water evaporates and is consumed by the plants.